and that's our job. And our commitment, and that earnestness is always in place, and will always.
तो पहला ऑप्शन ये है कि आपको मणिरत्नम सर के साथ खुशी होती है, डर लगता है, कि आप समझते हैं कि आप सबसे लकी हैं कि आपको मणिरत्नम जी के साथ इतनी सारी फिल्में करने का मौका मिला. और चौथा क्वेश्चन आपके ऊपर.
It's gratitude. It's absolute gratitude and unabashed joy and happiness. That वो जो contentment जो मिलती है, वो जो creative security मिलती है, उसमें जो एक सुकून है, एक peace है, एक spirituality है, कि मतलब हम जानते हैं कि यहाँ हम यही करने आए हैं. You're here to work with this creative genius and the team that he brings together, where you actually get to work with just brilliance, and everybody truly brings their student-like approach to the set, because that's the teacher we're working with. That's the guru we're all working with. I mean, it is just a given, and everybody is out there to try and, like Rahman sir said, it's search for excellence, and that search is on. कभी convince नहीं होते कि मतलब हाँ पहुंच गए, मिल गया, we've done it. No, it's that search is a constant, and with each experience it just keeps growing, and I think that's the purest form of learning for any artist, to keep that going, that you need to constantly evolve. There's nothing called arriving or reaching and to reach a point where you feel you know it all. It's beautiful. I mean, our guru himself always says, when we say like, do you know? He'll always say, no, I only know what I don't want. And we're constantly trying to figure out what it is that we're looking for. And it's so nice that he keeps it that pure. And he's always about keeping it true, keeping it real. तो एक ही लफ्ज़ में तो नहीं कह सकते, कोई ऐसे एक पॉइंट को लेके हम उस पर उंगली डाल के वो ग्रीन हाईलाइट नहीं होगा. बेसिकली इस पर हम we'll just go on and on. हम बोलते जाएंगे, because it is evolution, and that doesn't come to an end.
Hi.
Thank you.
This side over here. This is Mayur from Beyond Bollywood. Good evening to everybody. I would say the sons and daughters of Kaveri. I have a very simple question. It is for Mani sir and Aishwarya ma'am. You can also add to it. Basically, in a democratic India, where the focus is always on surging, looking to the future, and then obviously going back to history, what is there for the society to derive, by going back through history, through such films or, other forms of literature?
I think you learn everything from history. I think education itself is what you have learned, and what new comes in, and it builds up. So everything is from past is when the future comes. So I think especially in this novel and this film, I think after 1,000 years it is still relevant. The politics of it is still relevant. The psychology of it is still relevant, and therefore I think it is as contemporary as you can get.
Aishwarya ma'am, would you like to add to it?
Just put it aptly. The point about, you'll always learn. History is your foundation. We are because of a past. We all arrive into this world from a past, and you can keep dating back, delving. It's your interest. It's your approach. You have to recognize respect. An acknowledgement of history is what takes us forward, and you learn, you unlearn, and then you relearn again. And as Sir said, the politics of it all, the human journey of every character, that is eternal. That's relevant even to date and up ahead, because every character is human, and human conflict, human emotional journeys, the roller coaster of what you go through, irrespective of the situation in which you come from. That is something that's relatable and relevant at every point in time.
Can I add that?
Sure.
So we are actually North India, South India in a way, right? half the people know about the Cholas through this movie already, through the trailer. They can spell what Chora means. So that's an important statement, and even for the present generation to know the greatness of what existed 1,000 years back is very important for them to get their self-esteem and to know where to go from here. Not celebrating the past, but what they could do, what they are capable of, and to finding themselves. So, yeah. Thank you.
May I add to that, please?
Sure.
Sorry, you got all of us excited. Everybody has interests. There will be people who like science, astronomy, geography, history. But I think the most important thing is history. As children, all of us have listened to stories of the past. Whether it's Chandamama. Do you have Chandamama in Hindi?
Yes.
Amar Chitrakam.
All those are stories we hear. We've been told stories about the past, about kings, we've had such an illustrious past. Just a small thing that I want to bring to your notice. We all talk about the pyramids and how could they have possibly built it? How did they do it so many years ago? But do you know that in India we have so many temples, but the one with the highest Gopuram is there in Tanjavur, which is where the Chola dynasty had happened, and his role, Rajaraja Cholan, had built it. That particular temple has the highest Gopuram in the whole world. The top stone alone, it's a single stone that weighs 80 tons. 80 tons, not 1 ton or 2 tons. And how did they do it? But do we know that? We all go to the pyramids, we go see the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Someone said something very nicely. He said, we are actually appreciating a building that doesn't stand. It's falling over and wow, let's take a picture, let's take a selfie, and we're getting excited. But we have temples today that stand and they didn't use plaster. Do you know that for this particular stone, they had to use a ramp which was 6 kilometers long, which was pulled by bulls, elephants, and people. 6 kilometers long to get it up there, without any machinery, without any cranes, without anything. And they didn't have plaster. It's withstood 6 earthquakes. You know what happens when an earthquake comes? Without plaster. What they have done is they have an outer wall. Then inside that, they have a corridor of 6 feet, which is an open, just a corridor. And then they have another structure inside, which goes all the way to the top, which is why they can withstand earthquakes, which is why they stood so long. So these are all things that we need to know about. This particular king has built 5,000 dams in his time, and he's made a water management ministry in that time. He's had elections for the village leaders. He's asked them to name cities after women. Why should it only be men? Why can't it be named after a queen? And they've had hospitals, free hospitals, and and he actually brought loans. I mean, he used to give loans. He used to help people get dignity, not just throw money around. So this is something that's so illustrious. And this happened in the 9th century. I'm sorry, I'm taking so much time. No, it happened in the 9th century when the rest of the world, you talk about superpowers today, the 9th century all this happened when we had the biggest maritime naval thing in the world. And it went all the way to Bali, all the way to Malaysia, and went till we sent emissaries to China. And you know what was the superpower doing then? America hadn't been discovered by Columbus till 500 years later. So think about our culture, think about how advanced we were. We need to be proud of this. It's nothing to do with North India, South India, West India, East India. It is, we are Indians, and we need to feel proud about that. And England is so illustrious, but England were invaded by the Vikings, and Europe was in the dark ages during the 9th century. They had nothing going on. So don't you think we should celebrate history?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mani sir.
I need water, please.
Mani sir, I got 2 questions for you here. Harshada here. Sir, one thing is that how did you manage to get the galaxy of the actors in one frame? I'm very curious, as in...
He paid us a lot of money.
I'm sure about it, but there must be something behind the camera. How did you manage to get them in one frame?
You just have to ask them, give them a role, tell them this is the character, this is a book, you want to do it, I would like to do it, I told them. So I would have done anything to get them. They get money.
It's an easy yes for him. He just has to call and everybody very easily and happily says yes. That's the truth.
I'm sure, ma'am.
He asked 2 questions. Do you want money?
To place that Aishwarya ji will be playing this character, Vikram ji will be playing that character. You left to them, or that is your idea that he should pay this and that actor should pay that character?
That's interesting.
I can't ask them to exchange the roles.
No, just for example, like how did you place
I
them?
understand what you're asking. No, I think when you approach an actor, you approach with a character in mind. You think he or she will be right for it, and therefore that is why you approach. You approach them not for a film but for a character. And if they are able to be on sync with the character, and if they like it, and if they have the time, then it becomes perfect.
Hi, I just have one more question. This is for Trisha. Trisha, over here. Can you see?
Hi, I'm well, thank you.
Yeah. So obviously you're playing Princess Kundavi. I hope I got the pronunciation right.
Kundavai.
Oh, Kundavai. I'm so sorry for that. But obviously I think she's said to be a woman of courage, and as we've seen a little bit in the trailer, given the times that we live in today, especially on the with the issues of women's security, would you like to give some tip, to the women out there, on how to have courage?
So, a lot of people asked me, actually told me, playing Kundavai would have been so different for you because it's a woman who belongs to that era, and you've played characters which are pretty strong and a very, today's woman. But besides the physicality of the character, I could totally relate to Kundavai, even though she belonged to a totally different era, because she by herself is very, very empowered. And to be honest, we come from a blessed generation where, I feel very empowered today, but in that era, it was very, very difficult. A woman even voicing something in a kingdom where the men would be like, who is she to just walk into a kingdom and say this, So that was one part of Kundavai that I took from today, because I could really relate to it. It's very strong, very empowered, and that's what I loved about Kundavai, because I was playing today's woman dressed differently, set in that era. So mind-wise, it was very similar. It's just that the appearance was very different.
Hi, Aishwarya ma'am. Hi.
Hello.
This is Titash from News 18. My question is, of course, we are in awe of you after we watched you on the screen. You look lovely, ethereal. I would want to know, what was your daughter Aradhya's reaction when she saw you as a queen?
She's yet to see the movie, but of course, at the time she was, I'm sure, enthralled, and it's. There are many here who have children, and seeing a period drama is always exciting. And she did get the opportunity to visit on set, and it was mesmerizing. I could see that in her eyes. But I think my admiration for working with him, she already has a very, very she respects him. She's in awe of him, and his affection is so sweet. And I think what excited her the most is the one day when she came on set, and he gave her the opportunity to say action. She couldn't get over that. She's like, sir, give me.
My second question is, how much of Aishwarya Rai Bachchan do we see in this character that you play in the film?
A sincere student who honestly has interpreted Mr. Mani Ratnam's vision. I think that's really our job as an actor. Thank you.
हाय, संजय मिश्रा फ्रॉम नवभारत टाइम्स ऑनलाइन। रहमान सर से एक रिक्वेस्ट है कि आमतौर पर मतलब ऐसा मौका कम आता है, आपने इस फिल्म में गाना गाया है, तो अगर आप गुनगुना दें हमारे लिए बहुत प्रिविलेज होगा, मौका भी है।
मौका नहीं छोड़।
क्या मनी सर से सवाल है कि जब ये फिल्म इतनी एक तो बहुत एपिक फिल्म है, तो इसकी बहुत सारी कहानियां होंगी, कई दशकों से आप ये फिल्म बनाना चाहते थे। जब आप पहले बनाना चाहते थे, क्या आपको याद है कास्टिंग क्या आपने सोची थी? अगर आपको लगता है कि इस समय लोगों से ये शेयर करना चाहिए और मज़ेदार होगा वो किस्सा, तो प्लीज़ आप शेयर करें।
Long question. Yeah.
No, like I told you, this is film that MG Ramchandran wanted to make, and he had a set of cast. And then later, when I thought of this, it was after a film called Nayagan that I've done with Kamal. We both wanted to do this film, so at that time we hadn't started casting. We just had Kamal Haasan as the hero, and we were working on the script. And it didn't get materialized because it was too big. We couldn't put it into a single film, and we couldn't afford it. So we left it back. So that's what the history is.
Hi, this is Komal Panchal from Indian Express. My question is for Mani Ratnam, sir. Here. Sir, with PS1, it's like a window to Tamil history for the west and the north parts of India. When we make such big historical films, when there is a trend at times where history is tweaked a little to satiate a type of audience in the country. Have you also tried to do that, or have you been true to what the books have been?
The book is a historical fiction. Okay, there are lot of characters which are real, which existed, and which have been recorded in history, and there are some characters which Kalki had written which were fictional, and I think the way he had blended the two was fascinating, and that is what we tried to capture in the movie.
Hi, can I ask a question? Hi, here. Hi, I'm Princey from the People Bazaar. Big thanks for creating this cinematic spectacle. It looks very good, and I'm sure the authenticity will lead the generation to know a lot more about it. My question is for Rahman, sir. Sir, the music that you make tends to defy that era. This is an era that you had to revisit with your music. What is your understanding from the music? Because it's called musical also. So your understanding of that era.
Yeah, we started this like 10 years back.
Okay.
So I did like 12 to 13 tunes in Carnatic, just was trying to make use of the opportunity, and then he didn't react much to that. Then it's restarted. When it restarted, then he said, give me some more tunes. So I started again. Again, it didn't happen. He didn't respond to that. Then I said, take me to Bali, because Bali had influence of the Chola Empire,
All right.
So we just hanging out there. We went to the temples. We heard the monkey chants, and so that inspired a lot, because somewhere I think there was a pure trace of something which is preserved in the eyes of people, the way they see nature and people and all the stuff. That inspired me a lot. And so I'd give him like around 13, 14, 20 ideas. He didn't respond to it for a month. I said, okay, I'm done. Then he came back. I said, can we do this as this song, and this song, and this song? So that's how all the songs he want. And then he wanted a melody, and then again I gave him like 11 ideas, and he spotted. Again he takes it in, and then whatever comes back in the night for him, or he recalls that. He's got a very, very organic way of judging tunes. He doesn't, that's hit tune. He's not that way. So he just sees what inspires him organically. So the process was beautiful. I loved it. And then again scoring. I had done a score, 6-minute, Vanyathevan chase, market chase. I was so proud of it. I nailed it, I was thinking. And then he said, you did something 3 months back. Can you just replace this with that? Okay. So I'd orchestrated for 40 instruments, and we were about to record, and all this stuff happened. So his instincts are very correct. I believe in it. All of us believed in it for 30 years. And he's a great guide on it. At the same time, I told him in the beginning, I'm going to go wild. So you can set boundaries for me, where not to cross what. And so a couple of weeks back, we went back to the score, added a lot of traditional instruments, and sweetened a lot of parts where. So the process was beautiful. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Hello. Hi. Hi, this is Seema, right, for First Post. I want to ask Jayam Ravi. This is your first collaboration with Mani sir, unlike many other actors in the film. So how was it when you got a call, and that too, you were told to play the lead role? So tell us something about that.
The call was like, can you please come to my office? That was the call. Only when I entered the office, Mani sir sat and told that I'm going to play Ponniyin Selvan. First, I have to make sure whether there is a third person in the room so that he's the proof of what he said. I looked around, there was no third person. Then I asked him again, sir, no. Did I hear it right? Did you? Yeah. Then he repeated it, and I was blank totally. I didn't know how to react, what to react. But there was this feeling, it's a magical feeling that I'm sitting with the legendary Mani Ratnam sir, and his dream project. He's offering me the title role, and it was amazing. It was a dream come true moment for me. And my dream was always, it had been, it was to work with Mani sir. And in such a project, he's called me. It was a great feeling. I'm still trying to put words into that feeling, but the feeling remains on top. No words can fill that feeling, and I'm really glad that he called me for this movie.
Aishwarya, I want to ask you play dual role in the film, Nandini and Mandakini. Would you like to say something?
I'd like you to go watch the movie and then discover.
All right, we'll take one last
watch both the movies. You have to watch because actually it's one big narrative.
विक्रम सर, जयम सर और कार्तिक तीनों से सवाल है मेरा। राहुल वर फ्रॉम द फिल्मी चर्चा। तमिल सिनेमा चाहे साउथ की सिनेमा की बात करते हैं, हम लोग बचपन से फैन रहे हैं। आप लोग हिंदी सिनेमा के किस तरह के फैन रहे हैं? कोई आप अपना एक फेवरेट फिल्म बताएं और कोई एक हिंदी डायलॉग आप बोल के बताएं।
तेरे नाम एंड हिंदी डायलॉग नहीं, गाना ऐसे मेरे जीवन साथी प्यार किया जा। थैंक यू।
बहुत सारे फिल्में देखे हम। एक डायलॉग बोलना है आपको। मोगेम्बो खुश हुआ।
See, I am the one who can't speak Hindi. You have to forgive me. But I've watched so many Hindi films. In my college times, I would clearly remember Rangila. We went there to watch Tanha Tanha. We booked 3 shows back to back, and we were running inside the theater, and we had to be thrown out. But we got the tickets for the next show. We came back inside. So Tanha Tanha, like Amir sir and that. Like the music, like Rahman sir's music. Can never forget it.
It's not Hindi. Mogambo is a sound. It's a name.
Some of the dialogue, man. Help me with some of the dialogue.
Mogambo. Mogambo.
Oh wait, I remember Diwar, no? माँ मेरे पास है।
कार्तिक, मेरे पास माँ है।
मेरे पास माँ है। Thank you.
लास्ट क्वेश्चन सर मेरा। हेलो सर, लास्ट क्वेश्चन है। विवेक रंजन नाम है मेरा और पूरी टीम से है। हिंदी अगर समझ रहे होंगे जो तो शायद बता सकते हैं। वहाँ पे एक बहुत अलग चीज़ है जिस पे बात शायद अभी नहीं हुई, वो है डायलॉग। अगर तमिल में मूवी है और हिंदी में भी लोग इसे देखेंगे तो सबसे बड़ी चीज़ है वो है डायलॉग और राइटिंग। डायलॉग को किस हिसाब से रखा गया, क्योंकि हमारी हिंदी पट्टी में जो फिल्में बनती हैं, बहुत सारी ऐसी ऐतिहासिक फिल्में बनी हैं जो 1000 साल पूर्व और बहुत सारी चीज़ें बताई जाती हैं, लेकिन जिंदगी भर और बहुत सारे लोगों को उसके डायलॉग याद रह जाते हैं। जो अभी आप लोगों ने बोला एक दूसरे का डायलॉग, हिंदी फिल्मों के डायलॉग, तो कैसे राइटिंग में डायलॉग को लेकर के कैसे रिसर्च किया गया, ये मेरा सवाल है सबसे, खासकर मणि रत्नम सर से।
Divya, please come.
Within the dialogue.
डायलॉग के लिए जब मैं मनी सर के ऑफिस से कॉल आया था तो मैं थोड़ा कहानी की तरह बताता हूँ ताकि वो लगे कि कहानी कैसे बनी इसकी। तो मैं बहुत डरा हुआ था। पहले तो मुझे लगा फेक कॉलेज जैसे आजकल आता है दुनिया भर का। तो वहाँ पहुँचा मैं और फिर लगा कि हाँ ये रियल है, टिकट आ गया। जब पहुँचे तो जब मनी सर से मिला और तो क्या होता है कि जब मनी सर से पहली बार आप मिलो ना तो ब्लैंक हो जाता है सब। पीछे दिल से दिखाई पड़ रही होती है, बॉम्बे दिख रही होती है। तो मैं महाभारत जो थी, जो सीरियल था, राही मासूम रज़ा साहब ने उसके डायलॉग लिखे थे, तो उसका मेरे पास स्क्रिप्ट थी, वो मैं रिसर्च करके ले गया था, मैं बुक ऑलमोस्ट पढ़ के गया था पूरी की पूरी। तो कोशिश ये रही, सर ने बोला कि इट इज़ अ हिंदी फिल्म, आप इसको ऐसे ही देखिए और हिंदी फिल्म की तरह करिए। और वहाँ पे कोशिश ये रही कि जो भूले बिसरे शब्द हैं, जैसे कि गुप्तचर जैसा शब्द है, हम अंगूठी बोलते हैं, मुद्रिका जैसा शब्द है, कहीं पे किसी को रिक्वेस्ट करना है तो अनुरोध जैसा शब्द है, और उनको ऐसे लाया जाए कि वो टीवी सीरियल जैसे ना लगे, वो लगे